Do you believe in the Supreme Being, in the existence of the Supreme Being?
Yes,
Are you saying spirits possess human beings?
Spirits possess human beings possess spirits.
Spirits. And then what is the difference of that spirit and the soul? Our discourse is a cosmological argument. Cosmological argument, we want to know if God exists or not. And we will also talk about religions, and we'll also talk about beliefs and doctrines, and different religions and denominations. In the studio today, I am with Ubaba Kundabaloi.
Khokhovula.
Khokhovula, ngicela ukuthi ubingelele ababukeli emakhaya.
Ababukeli bonke nginithanda emakhaya. Ngiyanibingelela sanibona. Ngibuye ngibonge futhi ukuba privileged ukuba phambi kwenu sixoxa ngalezi ndaba.
Khokhovula, thank you so much for coming to the cosmological argument. And I think you know that I am going to use attacking questions. And do you allow me to do that? What does the word reincarnation mean to you?
I'll give you an example in a phrase.
Yeah.
There's a thing called, you call it death, they call it death. To me, I don't call it death. You are allowed to call it death because it will be happening to you. Myself, I don't call it death. The word elifita ngono ikwedlula emhlabeni, pass on.
Okay.
Where
right there, I like when you talk about, I will come back to reincarnation.
Yes.
Okay, you have mentioned death.
Yes.
The grave, right? Is the grave a cessation of being?
It is a way of combating. It is a way of comforting rottenness and rotting. What do I mean by that?
Saying, is it a cessation of being? I want you to answer me there. Is the grave a cessation of being?
It is, and it has to be.
It has to be a cessation of
Yes,
being. That means it's the end.
It's the end.
It's the end.
It's the end of the body.
So is the end of the body.
It's the end of the body, not of a life.
Not of a life, or not of the spiritual man.
Exactly.
Okay. So are you saying man is twofold or threefold?
Twofold.
Twofold?
Or to me is infinity.
Okay.
I'll explain how. I'm relating everything
Infinity,
to
you're
me.
saying man is eternal.
Exactly.
Man is eternal.
Let me put an example of me.
Yeah, the twofold.
Yes.
The twofold is eternal, right? Let's go back to reincarnation, because they are waiting for us, for you to explain that, and then we'll come back to that.
I'll make an example of me. What I don't do religion. I do spirituality. Religion mix up people and bring about politics. Let me go back to reincarnation. I'm an ancestor believer, as well as family believing in God, what we call umvelingangi. Not fooling myself, knowing myself. I think I'm far older than perhaps or maybe your great-grandfather. I'm still relating to that incarnation.
Yeah. Where did you get this information of incarnation? Because there are other religions that believes in reincarnation. And there's somebody who has coined that word, reincarnation. In your language, what is reincarnation?
I'll first of all like you. I like you. I like you. Solely, I like you. I told you I don't want just attacking questions. They'll be too simple for me. You'll get off your chair and leave me here, and then there won't be a purpose of me being here. Where do I get that? Where do I learn that? I learn from me. I have refused things like initiation for Intwaso, teaching each other things that are man-made or myth things that we think of and we build and make them exist. In that regard, what I'm trying to explain to you is that I communicate with the spirits through dreams, through whispering. It happens not only with me, even with other religions from the Western and elsewhere. Let me make an example of me. I say that I believe I'm far older. Perhaps, when I'm saying perhaps, it is because I might be referring to a person who's like me, and then you find that he's older than me, than your great-grandfather. For I believe I've lived so many different lives in so many different bodies. Now I'm trying to explain what you call reincarnation. When a person
you believe that? You believe that you have lived in different bodies and all that?
Yes.
And then where did you get that from? Because reincarnation, a person who coined the word reincarnation, that's before you were born.
Where I get that.
There was reincarnation. People were talking about reincarnation before you were born.
Where I get that.
Yeah.
I live in two worlds. I live in two worlds.
Oh, good. Okay, let's hear that.
Yes. This I'm not taught like Sangoma is being taught. You guys here in this television, you once said, is Sangoma Zotumo? And people say, we've been initiated by so and so and we became Sangoma. And later I caught some people, I won't mention names, saying they can initiate you in a Sangoma training even if you don't have a gift. I was very upset with that because it makes us funny. A word that says Sangoma, a spiritualist, it talks about all of us who are in this thing of spiritualism. Now, let me talk about this reincarnation thing. I communicate with the spirits. I interact with other spiritualists outside African spiritualism.
How many spirits have you communicated with?
So many. I've been approached.
In what language do you communicate with them?
Different languages. If
languages?
If I'm approached by you, remember these spirits will approach anybody in a good way, bad way. If I'm approached by your Sutu spirits, they will speak Sutu, and I will be enabled to understand Sutu in that communication. A vendor, I will be enabled to understand the vendor language if I'm approached by the vendor spirits. That is in a good way, bad way. Let me go back to answer your reincarnation thing before we blush it and end up going to other questions to take care of. Now, look, when I'm saying I live in different worlds, I'm here on earth as a physical being, as this humanoid. Now, we are talking things of humans, you know. When we are talking things of spiritualism, I've got to be in my dreams, get alertness, get messages, get instructions as in what to do spiritually. When you get to that level of spiritualism, you'll be talking maybe to your great-grand. Some you know, some you do not know. What you have to understand, there are recent spirits, those who have died now of COVID. They become amaldozi in a spiritual state. And then they'll be telling you stories and guiding you and giving you clarity about the other world so that they guide you to prepare yourself for the other world. So that when you get there, you are not deprived or you are not denied to come back to get an attachment to other bodies of the people in the family, in the blood that you are born into.
These spirits that you're talking, I'm sorry to interrupt you. These spirits that you're talking about, where do they reside?
Where do they reside? Where do they come from?
Where do they live?
Like,
and then the spirits that you're talking about, you're talking about people who died?
Yes, they live here with us.
They live here with us.
Like many people have believed that when I say everybody here, point where God is. Yeah. Do you know where they're going to point? All these people that are here. If I ask any one of these people, they will point out.
I know that question. I know that question because I can still say to you, when you point up there during the night, will you point up? Will you say heaven is up during the night? Because the earth has rotated. Are you still going to say heaven is up there?
I like your. Why does it seem like you are in a competition to tamper with my intellectuality that I've seen as broader? Yours now seems a bit broader, but I'll up my socks, and upping my socks, it will benefit somebody listening up there.
10 times.
I'll try to do it 4 times. Let's go to the point.
Let's
now,
go to the spirits. I'm very much interested.
The spirits are here.
I think viewers out
with
there
us.
are very much interested in spirits. That human beings after death.
Let me give you something.
After death, where do they go? You see, this is one question.
Word spirit.
Yeah.
If you look at it and study it well, it means a soul. It means something like air, something that you inhale. So at one stage, I always have asked myself when I try to relate to what we call scientific things, remember, they don't actually go go with most of things which are spiritual. They want something which is evident. Like when I'm saying spiritual, I've got to have something that you can touch, that you can see. But now when you have to conform to that understanding and those facts, I'm telling you, you won't be spiritual. For the fact that spiritual things are things that will not conform with nature when you take it to the natural laws of nature, but still they bring a happening. Where do spirits live?
Good.
They live in bodies.
Okay.
As I'm talking here, there are spirits that are attached in me. Who is and what is a spirit?
Okay. Are you saying spirits possess human beings?
Spirits possess human beings possess spirits.
Spirits. And then what is the difference of that spirit and the soul?
Right.
You spoke about the soul and the spirit. So you're saying spirits and you're saying soul.
The soul is a living thing in you as you are alive. That makes you mortal. You know? But when it separates from the body, we don't call it a soul. We now call it a spirit. It is not in the body. It now possesses some certain energies and abilities which are more than a humanoid can do.
Yeah. Just to deviate a little bit,
yes,
we hear people talking about Hades. They talk about Gehenna. They talk about paradise. And there is there are books like Bibles, like Qurans, so many books out there. Which book do you use? Do you have any publication? Do you have any publication that talks about the reincarnation, about this, all this that you're talking about?
Book.
You are a book?
I am a book.
Okay.
And I will make everybody in the world, not only in South Africa, know that I am a book. The books that I used, all the books, they are man-made. And they are written by the guys who haven't got surnames, with only names. And these books have been compelled to go all over the world, and some people have seen their books consistently superior as compared to other people's books, yet we have got our other books. Let me explain my book. I communicate with the spirits directly. I never went for a Twasa initiation. Okay. I became, let me tell you how did I become a Sangoma or an Inyanga. I'm not only a Sangoma, I'm a Sangoma, I'm an Inyanga, I'm a Sanuse, like Credo Mutua, like see things. I predicted the fall of Mugabe. I will say this one, President Mugabe. I told you I've got a Zimbabwean background. They were looking for me. When I went there, guys came who were coming to take me. They told me they were going to throw me in the acid. No evidence of me was going to be actually seen. I had to tell them, how is he going to come out of power and die? Because I'd said that. I posted it on the internet. Still, that document exists.
When was that?
It was 2017.
Okay.
2016-17, of which he was removed from power. That was a prediction in 2018-19. Yeah. Those guys, they made me pay $500 US. I paid them. They said, go to South Africa. We don't talk these things. Internet is guided here.
Where did you get that information from?
I got that information from these spirits that we are talking about. Okay. They visit me, they talk to me. Okay. I remember one day, it's a pity that my wife is not in the what we call in the camera, but I'll just make the example. I was polygamous at that time before I was kidnapped by 12 South African Inyangas. I went to Mojalav. They were talking about Ugutwala, which are these energies that I'm talking about, spiritual but negative spirits. I said people must not go on telling people in Blasha is into as if it's something nice. Abathi sibulala abantu siconvert ama powers, ama energies. Abantu bakwazi ukuyafiwa. Nalabo bayakhona. Babasho ukuthi bayabulala abantu. I was kidnapped. There is one.
You were kidnapped.
I want a documentary. I was kidnapped.
Who wrote the Bible?
Who wrote the Bible? It's some intellectualities who wanted to brainwash you and control your brains. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the enemy of the church. I like and love the church for it create good characters and good citizens. Yeah. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend as if the lies and fabrications are the truth. The truth doesn't need a supplementary support. It stands by the truthfulness of its own. Today, everybody here is fighting to be white, to have silk hair. Look at the girl there. Look at the girl there, silk hair. Look at my wife there, silk hair.
What is your take? What is your take on the painting that was done by Leonardo da Vinci in the 1400 painting the Last Supper painting, where he's got Jesus and his disciples. And question number 2.
When you go that far,
Let me give you the second one. The second one is about the shroud of Turin. Is the shroud a fake or not?
now I'll start with the first one.
Yeah.
My intellectuality is too broader. When it comes to me being an African, not black but brown, you guys have been entitled black. If you are black, then be black. I'm never gonna be black. I'm brown.
Yeah.
That was put on us mockingly, interrogatively. That's the reason when you guys talk about us in English, I'm a traditional healer, Nisangoma, but you say witch doctor. Why there's a witch word and a doctor? And witch doctor hammering. But when it comes to the Western doctors, and then it's when it's ladies saying it, I fell in love with a doctor. It's no longer even a doctor, but mina, which doctor? Manje mina keep fucking my talk. I can answer umbuzo wako. Now, I'm not gonna talk like I don't believe God exists. But come to the question of Jesus. If I'll ask you who this guy is that you're talking to, and you call all those pastors and they tell me who is this guy, I'll make an example. One example. You knew God before slavery and slave trade and your capture and kidnap came. There's a lot that you did on mountains. Ni worship God in landela ngamasiko wenu. Nafika nashintshwa ingqondo manishintsha ingqondo. There is this guy afika wafakwa phambi kwenu kwathiwa nangu uJesus. Lento wawutshela ukhonjwe ngesibhamu kumele uvume yonke into esabileyo ukuzuvume. Point number 1. Point number 2, seningama slaves lesenibanjiwe le senilime emasimini maniqala ukudla, you had to pray to this God and Jesus just to ukubonga ukuthi uyadla ukudla wena ukusebenza emasimini uyislave lapha. That is point number 1. Point number 2, mawuzoqala udonsa inqola kwakuneyinqola ezidonswayo zazingadonswa imbongolo namahashi zazidonswa nguwe ephethe strap, and the most of the slave owners were the bishops, Christians in their denominations as they differed. I would think it to
in Ephesians 6:1, it says, slaves, obey your earthly masters, which with respect and fear.
You were not going to say we mustn't respect because you are the one who was writing that. It's not we, the slaves.
I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Is it God who's saying that, or is it man who says, slaves, respect?
It's your brother.
Your masters.
It's your brothers.
My brothers?
Vasco da Gama and the missionaries. That thing had to be there as if it is from God, so that you really respect, because you are taking it from God, not from the man who wrote it. It's like, let's come to 10 Commandments. I've got a book that I'm writing.
But when you say your brother, what do you mean?
No, I'm just joking. They are not your brothers, but they are our brothers. They have become. No, I'm trying to shift a thing that will make me sound racist. You know, these are our brothers. These are our brothers. We have them here. They have nowhere to go. They will live here and die here. We are doing everything with them. I've got my brother Rupert. He's the richest man. He keeps the country going, and I've got the open aimers there. They are our brothers.
Do you see this picture here?
I see that picture.
Do you believe in this picture?
No, this picture you were sitting there planning.
Yeah.
How are you? This picture it comes from the brains. It is the brain, and it was brought to this clay. I don't know what this thing. All these pictures that we are bringing.
We've got 2 pictures.
Show them on the camera. All those picture fields. These pictures. These pictures.
Wait a minute.
These pictures captured the brains of my forefathers.
I know.
I don't hate them, but I use them to explain things to you and to make others aware that I cry, mourn, and weep that Africa have changed, that the young ones of Africa have turned into the enemies of their forefathers, into the enemies of their own motherland.
Khokhovula, you are listening to my questions, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you.
They keep me going.
Okay. I'm talking about the Last Supper pictures. This one here of a white Jesus and white disciples, right? And there is this one here. The camera guys know their job. These are highly trained. They will take a close up of that. On these 2 pictures, which one do you think our children will love?
None.
None. I'm talking about our children, because there are people we have a lot of people who have this picture in their homes.
None. Because
Do we have church?
I like How TV today now for privileging me to sit here and talk. I've been yearning to talk. I always have had this thing from the young age. It wanted to burst. If you guys let it burst and I do not talk here, I'll die. I'll die. I thank you for privileging me to talk here. These photos of yours, the Last Supper, if I go deep into the Bible, I'm not a Bible mocker. I like it for it built good characters and good citizens. And I like this business. Maybe I'll die being a pastor, because nowadays, I'm telling you, this business is making a lot of money.
When you die being a pastor, you become spirit or you reincarnate?
I don't reincarnate in that one. I reincarnated.
It sounds like you're contradicting
No,
yourself.
I reincarnated, and I reincarnate in my own space and type of spiritualism and reincarnation. This one won't be even reincarnation. It will be a plan and a mind game that it is, and it always had been. This Last Supper, this is a celestial body story. Let me bring you a picture. Today I have to talk. What is Jesus as of now, if he really lived on earth? People are afraid to talk these things because they were made afraid that if they talk like I'm talking, they will die. I don't fear death because I've never died. I've never even near-death experience, and I don't die. I pass on and reincarnate and come back. This supper, the man was, let's say, a valelisa abantu bakhe. Mina, if I was Jesus, ngifa. Nganzofa ngichazeka ngihleka lento ayikhalela lapana Elohim lama sabatana ushela uNkulunkulu wami wayemshela. Point number 1, mana ungantshaga. Point number 2,
the supreme being that you're talking about, this we don't have it.
Remember, there is a supreme being. There's these stories of Jesus. A supreme being always have heard them. Remember, Tina, in each and every place and every land, there are supreme beings. Go to Zambezi, you have got Nyami Nyami in that river that is said to be a being in the river. Go to KwaZulu, you have got Nomkhubulwane. You go to Eastern Cape, you have got Abokamata. You understand that? But all those things were put under one God. They are second maybe to supremes, the messengers that took our matters to the supreme. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then here comes your brother, Vasco da Gama. He was not coming here. He came there going somewhere. They started to check ukuthi uhambe kanjani azafika la kade khona ukuthi umhlaba uyiround uhambile wadlula la wayengazaya khona edinga into engayazi wafika lapha ezoshintsha izistories zakhe.
Don't forget that I'm interviewing you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it looks like you are going off at a tangent, and to me it's completely out of kilter, because it's like you are now preaching. It's an interview. So you have to understand that people want to hear you answering the questions that I'm asking you. I've asked you about you didn't, you just went in, and I also asked you about the Shroud of Turin. Okay, I've asked you about these two pictures.
Yes.
And then the question is, we still have these paintings in churches, don't we? There are churches who still have this painting here of the
They
lesser.
don't know why they have it.
But do you know that this painting was done by Leonardo da Vinci?
Everything that is in the Bible and all these stories were done by people. And let me come to Jesus.
Is God a white person? God was depicted as a white.
Let me give you a picture. I firmly believe in this, the cradle of mankind thing, an evolution of humankind from Homo erectus zinjanthropus from into Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens is of which we are today. Yeah. I firmly believe in that. Do you know why I believe in that?
Why do you believe
I go to Europe. I've been all around the world. I see what you call white monkeys, and I've seen the monkeys of China. When you look at the Chinese and those white monkeys and the Chinese, they've got that resemblance of the Chinese. You look at our monkeys, gorillas. Everybody was there where he was. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, you got that from anthropology, right? You're talking about anthropology.
The craziness of the creation.
Yeah. So answer me about the Shroud of Turin. You have a belief of reincarnation. Okay, you are now bringing anthropology, which people study at school, and the last question before we finish, I know you're still going to answer me about the shroud. The last question that I'm going to ask you, all the information that you have, who inculcated that information on the inside of you? Did you get it from the spirits? Can spirits start a school and teach people?
Not a school. I mastered a degree in intelligence, not to equip myself to actually answer the questions or the interrogative questions when I'm being interviewed, but to learn, to study people and their brains and their minds and what they create in order to get us to do things that they want. The thing that you're actually asking here, who witnessed the creating of a human being by God? I was not created, my brother. I was conceived and I was born. I was not created.
Okay, now, so that means you do not believe in creation. You don't believe in the universe, that God created the universe. Do you believe that there is nothingness? Who
and what is God in the first place, in your own understanding?
You see, I'm the one who's asking you a question. I'm the one who's you're usurping my show. You're usurping my show. You still have to answer me about the shroud. The shroud of Turin. Then we'll come to this time.
Let me answer. You asked me as in how many spirits are here. There are many. Point number one. Point number two. They go with beliefs. Beliefs have given a birth to gods. Up to so far, we will count over 5,000 gods that have been discovered from the beginning of mankind, with the Egyptians being the dominance in the discovery of those gods. Abo Abet, abo Osiris, they give them names. In those gods, they used what you call energies, amandla ayenza namhlanje kuze kuthiwe kunabotikoloshi, kunemikhovu. Umuntu cishe acreate umuntu through those things, and zikhona, they do exist.
What is your message? We're closing now.
Yes.
What is your message? You're going to look at that camera. What is your message kwizangoma ezisebenzisa umhlonyane, ezisebenzisa imithi, ezinemithi eziyezaboniswa ukuthi lo mithi lo uyapholisa, yathathwa leyo mithi yenziwa amapilisi?
Leyo nto leyo uzongibiza ngizokhuluma ngayo. Mina ngokwami ngikwate kakhulu. I'm very angry with the world and some patents ezithathwe kubo khokho bethu. Abelungu befika lapho behamba kubo khokho bethu bebuza lokhu kuyini. Leyo mithi leyo ingama ingredients yama patents wabo esesiyithengiselwa thina ibe yayingiyabo khokho. Umhlonyane ungeminye yemithi esebenzayo, kodwa isebenza neminye imithi ukuze yenze ezinye izinto. Engikhale ngakho mina ngomhlonyane ukuthi why ungasetshenziswanga, ungazange waphuzwa nguzwela inzima vavi ngeCovid. Uqale lapho umhlonyane wawukuphi? Lento yokuthi abantu ba discover imithi bezwa ngama rumors bazobulala abantu, ezinye izinto they are poisonous, ezinye azisebenzi zingamixwanga nezinye, yikho kwathiwa ukuthaka.
Yeah, what is your last word to our viewers?
My last words to the viewers, ngicela niyekele ukuthatheka, ngizocela bambize ngelinye ilanga ngezihloko ezikhuluma ngamandla, energies ezithinta into enizisukumelayo nisiyozifuna kwizangoma lezinyanga zijike zibe yikugula, zinihluphe, zinihawunte emakhaya. Wawuthi uyothwala wabuya nesigubhu, lento iyajika into eziningi akusalala, ilala nabantu la ekhaya yenza into ezithize. Nanokuthi niyasukuma nithi niyothwala nigcwele nezigubhu, omunye uhamba impilo yakho i-right, wahamba wayoshiza inhlanhla wayothengisa idlozi. You are now at loggerheads with your spirits. Ngike ngamemezela ngathi even kuthiwa ngambhadalisanga umuntu enithethe into ezinjalo ezinihluphayo le kulezi nyanga lezi esezihlupheke eNatal, eniye nasigijimisa ngonsika nithi nifuna izimali zenu ngoba senihlupheka. Wozani lezo zinto ngizikhiphe, niphinde nisitshele ukuthi nabula lobani nithwala.
Khokhovula, thank you so much for coming. If I call you again, would you come?
Ngiyathanda ukuba la ama topics esingakhuluma angafika million. Wonke adinga ukuthi kuhlelwe indaba ye spirituality.
If I call you again, would you come?
I will.
Thank you so much.
Okumhlophe.
Thank you so much.
Okuhle kodwa.